everyone, Kristina Werner here. Welcome to another video for SimonsStamp.com. Today I'm going to be using stamps and products from the January 2018 card kit. I'm mostly only going to use items that are included in the kit, but I will add an additional ink pad color and also some masking paper. In fact, that masking paper is kind of integral to today's technique, but you definitely don't have to have it. You could use some typing paper or computer paper, just a really thin sheet of paper. Just makes the technique a little bit easier if you use masking paper. So I've cut my masking paper to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 tall, and then folded it in half. I'm taking a pencil to draw on a heart shape. This is just half of a heart shape. And then I'm going to cut it out and I'll have a perfectly symmetrical heart. This is the same thing you did when you were a kid in elementary school and you wanted to cut out hearts. This is just kind of a grown-up version using some masking paper, and we're going to create a card with it. So I'm cutting out half of that heart shape, and then when I'm completely finished cutting it out, I can unfold this masking paper and I have a really great heart shape that's sized perfectly to go on the front of this card. So I'm going to peel the release paper off the back of this masking paper and press it down onto my already folded card base. This is some Schoolhouse red cardstock from Simon, and it is included in the kit. I just cut that sheet in half so I can save the other half for another card later on. So I have my mask all the way on there, and now I'm going to take one of the stamps from the stamp set. It's this one that has X's and O's on it. And I'm going to take the pink shimmer Delicata ink cube from the kit, and I'm going to stamp this XO all over this heart area. This was actually inspired by a little design on the pattern paper that's included in the kit. It has a red background and has X's and O's creating a heart shape. And I thought that was such a fun idea, so I thought I would mimic it. So I'm stamping all of this on here and making sure I kind of turn the XOXO multiple ways so I can get some interest that way. Now I realized that the edges of the heart might not show because of the gaps in between the letters. So I decided to grab a mini round blending tool and just blend on some of this pink shimmer Delicata ink. This just fills the gaps in between those letters and makes it so as I peel off my mask, you have a complete heart shape. I really love how that turned out, and I love the different kind of shimmer that you get when you hold it up in the light. So I'm going to take the other part of that heart mask that I created earlier, and I'm going to stick that onto some black cardstock that I folded to create a card base. Using the same ink again, and this time I'm going to blend from the inside of the heart out. So it's going to create another heart shape on my card, but I'm really only using the same mask. I just used the inside this time. So I love that it gives this kind of halo, almost like the heart is glowing. It looks really, really cool. Now you could do this with any type of pigment ink that you have, or even a distress oxide ink. But Delicata ink, like I said before, it does have that kind of shimmer to it. It's really beautiful. So this gives it something a little bit extra. I'm going to take my card and put it in my MISTI stamp positioning tool. You definitely don't have to use a MISTI for this. You could just use a regular acrylic block. But I did end up stamping my greeting twice just to make sure it gets nice and solid. So it was helpful to be using a MISTI stamp positioning tool. So I'm inking up my stamp here that says, "You're my favorite," and I'll just stamp that down right into the center of that heart. And there are a few other greetings you could choose from that stamp set that would fit inside a heart shape like this. So this card was almost done. It just needed a little extra detail. So I decided to take a white gel pen and draw a dash line around the heart. Now this pigment ink wasn't quite dry, so I did put down some white paper so that would prevent me from smudging that ink while I drew my dash lines on. And this is actually a bold Jelly Roll white pen. It's like the same thickness as a Uniball Signal Broad white pen, but it's a little more smooth. It doesn't skip. I find that it works really, really well. So to finish off that red card, I grabbed some of these blocked word stamps from the stamp set, and stamped those in VersaFine ONYX black ink onto some white cardstock from the kit. Cut those out using my scissors and then adhered them down onto the red card. I also decided to add stitching lines around the heart on this card, and I used the same Jelly Roll broad pen for that. So I'm going to do one more card in today's video. This time I'm using the Cotton Candy pink cardstock from the kit, and I'm also using some Schoolhouse red ink. This ink is not included in the kit, but you could use any red ink or even black if you wanted. I'm adding the Love You stamp and then the Bunches block stamp right below it. I then took one of the border stamps that says XOXO and stamped that on both sides of the Love You greeting. I'm going to do some additional masking on this. I just cut a rectangle out of masking paper. And then I'm going to take that blending tool and I'm going to blend from the center out, similar to what I did on the black card. This is going to give the illusion of a shape that's kind of outlining that greeting area without an additional piece of cardstock being used. This is a great way to have a one-layer card, but to have it look like there's some additional visual interest. So I'm peeling up this mask, and you can see how it created some division and space on the front of this card. Adding some more white dash lines around the shape. And that finishes the card set for today, these super simple one-layer cards. You can pick up the card kit for January 2018 over at SchIMMER, and I'll have links down below to make shopping a little bit easier. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in another video very soon.